Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Everything good? It seems like the audio's capturing. Just let me know if you can hear me. Welcome to my stream. Happy Tuesday. Ooh, it's freezing cold here in my studio right now. Oh my gosh. This is nice and toasty. I'm warm. I'm bundled up today, but oh my gosh, is it cold. Can you guys see my breath? No? Oh. Anyways, I'm here. I'm ready to go. What are we doing today? It's always a surprise. What random project am I working on? Well, if you read the title, you know. We are taking a men's button-up shirt and turning it into a decorative pillow. Well, it's more of a pillowcase. But anyways, I did this project when I was a little kid in what basically was Girl Scouts. We were supposed to get one of our dad's old shirts so we could use it for this project. Problem is, my dad's old shirts, he uses as rags. My dad's a mechanic. All of his clothes are stained, even his nice clothes, as much as my mother tries. Like, if it was nice enough for this project, it probably was a shirt he was still wearing. So I ended up getting an extra shirt from my friend, and I still gifted it to my dad, and he absolutely loved it. He's like, this is a comfy little pillow, you know, you gotta appreciate a good dad. But I still like this project. It's a super, super, super easy project because all it is sewing straight lines. Like, if this isn't the easiest beginner project I've ever done or could think of, this is the project. So if you don't know how to use a sewing machine, doesn't matter. You can use a needle and thread. In, out, back and forth, up, down, follow the straight line. It's not the end of the world. Like, it is a super, super, super easy project. I'm gonna use my sewing machine. I have my serger here, but I was like, oh, that's just showing off. You don't need a serger. I just like sergers because they look professional when you're done because they fit. These are enclosed, encased seams, so we don't really have to stress out about it. Other thing, I wanted to just point out that to use a men's dress shirt, why are we discriminating against women's blouses or button-ups? Because there's darting or shaping or seaming that changes the shape from a plain old rectangle. And a rectangle is way easier to use for a pillowcase. Not that you can't, not that it will stop me if the shirt is cool enough or whatever, but just get a basic men's button-up shirt and a pillow form to go inside of it. I am using my Halloween pillows. I'm just making cases for them today. I have two. I have this guy. It's a cool pillow, isn't it? It's great for Halloween. But the rest of the year, it only comes out about August. And then it stays through mid-November, end of November. You know, but it's December. He's out of the way for Christmas decoration, so he is a good classic square pillow. And then I got a good rectangular shaped pillow. Neither of these are full like sleeping pillow size because the shirts I have aren't big enough, but they're decorative pillow shaped size and they are comfortable. And then I have a bunch of button-up shirts. I'm not exactly sure which one I'm going to use today. I don't pre-think these things out. I literally just pulled them out of the get rid of bag. I have basic blue button-up. No pocket, super simple. I have this DKNY button-up. The pattern's a little busy and it moirays on camera. What's moiraying? Moiraying is that, see how the lines kind of look weird on camera, but in real life I'm just seeing regular lines and dots. Not that these ever have to be on camera, but that's one of the things, like when I'm styling things for a photo shoot or a video shoot, I do have to take into account how it acts weird on camera. Crazy, right? Anyways, there's a bunch of little DKs, ends-wise, and little lines on this thing. Is there a pocket? No pocket. Why am I caring if there's a pocket? I actually like if there's a pocket, but it just depends. It will change the placement of everything. And so you have to keep into account whether it's going to get cut off, cut up, or in the way. Or if it's just easier to negate. This blue one. Actually, I kind of want to wear this one. It has a hoodie. Yeah, this one's not getting cut up. I like that one. These red plaid shirts, I use them in costuming all the time. So many characters, from serial killers to werewolves to handyman to cholos to, like, the red plaid shirt is a fun costuming item that you don't think of, but I use a lot in storytelling visually without saying anything. Because red is a great color, but I have a bunch of these red plaid shirts. I love them. I think I want to use this one. This one or the blue one. Maybe both. I have two pillow forms. There is a pocket on this one with a little button. Let's see if I want to use that or not, or if it's going to be in the way. How do we know? Well, say hi to Jock. He lets me know if my microphone knuckles in the camera shot and says hi to you guys when it is. Anyways, I don't know if this pocket will work for the design, but we'll see. All right, I'm gonna button up my shirt. And I'm gonna go with the square. It fits the pocket. I don't think I have to smoosh it to figure it out to make it work. Yep, this pillowcase will have a pocket. Okay. Welcome, not top. I cannot speak today. A pillowcase with a pocket? You're out of control. Hey, it's a great place for the tooth fairy to put the tooth fairy money, although if she visits me now, I would be crying. The lazy person in me does not want to iron this because ironing is boring and stupid and annoying and a whole nother step that's not necessary. But the professional in me is going, iron it because it'll look much better if you do. So because I'm live and you guys are watching me, we're going to iron this the right way, okay? Plus it'll make it a little warmer in here. My iron's right there. I just have to heat it up. It's a wireless iron, so it's just going to take a minute, but then it'll hold its heat, which is nice. Okay. This is super simple. The button placement is really important because you don't want to cut through a button. They get in the way and they're annoying, but we want them. They are the best part of this shirt. I mean, pillowcase. All right. I have my measuring tape. I have my pillow. I measure my pillow. How big is it? It is a 14 and a half. Nope, it's a 14-inch pillow. Okay, so if you measure it at the end without going up and over the bulk of the fluff and stuff, or yeah, if you just smoosh it down, it's 14 inches. But you guys see the steam? It looks so dangerous, but that's just the steam from the iron. Scared me there for a second. I was like, what's burning? Anyways, this is a 14-inch pillow. Typically when you are picking out pillow inserts for pillowcases and you want it to look high-end and floofy and super nice and expensive, you do about an inch smaller. So for a 14-inch pillow, you would do a 13-inch pillowcase. That way it fills it out and makes it nice and floofy and it's not like gappage. But I'm just going to leave off the seam allowance, and I think it'll make it so if I cut it at 14 inches as my finished, at my cut line with the seam allowance included, it will sew up at 13 and a half. No, it will sew down to 13 because it'd be ½ inch on either side, ½ inch on either side. So it would take it in the full inch that I want it to be. So it's 13 inches with a ½ inch seam allowance. So it would be 14 inches total square size. I know it's a little, seam allowance just complicates things a little bit because it's like every side it adds it to it. So it's a ½ inch on this side and a ½ inch on this side. So it's a full inch total, but then also the ½ inch on this side and the ½ inch on, so slightly bigger all the way around. But iron is obviously hot. It's steaming up the house. Let me I had no idea that was there. Oh, this is my pocket pattern from last week. By the way, I absolutely love my Grinch pockets. They are amazing. One thing I would change is I would just do this steeper. I don't have to come out and down. I can literally just come down and cut some of this extra off, like this much on my pocket. I don't need this here. Although it does help putting extra snacks in my pockets because I can slide a water bottle to here and take up the space and fit 2 of them in there. So I'm not complaining and I'm not going to change mine, but note to future self, I can be a little bit more dramatic with my slanty line. I'm at the short people table again. Here's my just drop that down. I don't need it so dramatically high. I'm not going to worry about ironing the sleeves because we're just going to literally cut them right off. I'm going to lay this flat and finish the rest of the buttons that I was too lazy to do a second ago. I'm already getting tangled in my thread. Not yet. Un momento, por favor. Okay. Everything's flat. My button line is right here. You guys cannot see it, but button, 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 button. This little, I think it's called a placard, button flap is kind of the star of this pillowcase. It is why this thing is the easiest project ever. There's some hard water on my iron. Give me a second. Jeez. No, that's starch. That is starch. Oh well. Starch never hurt nobody. Okay, it might have hurt somebody, but it's not that dangerous. not really worried about ironing the entirety of the shirt. I am focusing on the section I'm going to be cutting out. So 14 by 14. Let me mark this. 14. All right, I'm not centering my button flap because if I was, I might be a little close to my pocket than I want to be. But 14. I really like that this is the plaid because I get to follow lines. I don't have to super guess. But the thing is the front and the back, if the plaids don't line up, it might be a little off. So I probably should, I will cut out the front and the back separately. I lied. I'm not going to cut out the front and the back separately because they took the effort to line the plaids up. So my plaids line up front and back, so I am going to treat it as one piece. If it's a solid shirt, you don't have to worry about the pattern as much either, so you can do it as, just cut it out as a solid piece. I want to go this line, down this line, and then 14 inches from this point. 14 from here to here is just inside of that line. I am not on a flat surface, so let me just double check that measurement. Oh, nice. The higher up I get this on this shirt, the more of the yoke I'm gonna get on, and I think that'll be pretty cool. I think I'm just missing the yoke. Hold on. What if I move this up? Just got to figure out the placement of my square. And then I'm pitting all the way through so I can check where I'm going to be cutting it out on the back. I'm just below that yoke, and you know what? That's where the shoulders are tapering and there's a little bit of shaping going on, so I am going to just keep my original spot that I chose. I get a pocket, but no yoke. What's a yoke? The little extra piece that they have that goes across the shoulder. Good morning, Dan Does Junk. How are you doing today? Welcome. All right. I hate that this doesn't start at one at both ends. Maybe if I put it on this way. Now it's the right way. I like measuring tapes that have the one at the both sides. It's very helpful. And don't worry, my house is not burning down. That is the steamer. I mean, the steam from the iron. Then go here and here. Check my back. Nice. I am going to get rid of this ironing board from underneath my project because I need more flat table space, and I don't have the flat table space to cut out a flat square. And when you cut out fabric, you don't want any of your fabric hanging off the edge of the table because it will pull everything in. It'll get wonky. Trust me from my mistakes, I mean experience. Dan Does Junk says, I'm doing good. Working in the freezing weather, freezing for California anyways. I totally did complain about being cold. Trust me. Oh, I know it's not that cold compared to everywhere else, but freaking A, is just to make me hard to... I don't want to move. It's just... Not yet. I'm going to need that thread in a minute, but not yet. There we go. Take the sleeve so it's not hanging off the edge, because that would suck if it was. Everything off. Okay. Plaids are lined up. I'm going to cut off the sleeve first so I can just get it out of my way. If you do this inside out, you don't have to flip it. I didn't think of that till just now. It's okay. This is a super, 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 super easy project that you'll be fine. All right, I'm just gonna be right, push that button right out of the way because I'm cutting it right below, through that buttonhole. It's a close cut, but I did it. Oops, I don't want to pull this. And we're flat. And the last little bit. Push my sewing machine out of the way. Sorry. This rest of the shirt we do not need. Feel free to use it for spare parts or forget about its existence and let it go because it is being recycled. All right, where is my ironing board? I'm gonna press this again really quick. That's what I'm getting caught on. These are invisible. Anyways, okay. This is the point where you put right sides together. It is a rectangle, so rectangle is square. So don't flip it if you want the patterns to still work. Anyways, right sides together. I'm going to give it a press while it's inside out just to smoosh everything back to where it belongs and make sure that I'm still lined up because I don't want to not be. I'm putting pins in right at the corners. You don't need a lot of pins because this is a flannel. What does a flannel mean? It means that there's a little bit of a nap to the fabric, and meaning there's like a hair, that kind of fluffiness, so it sticks to itself, and it's it's easy to work with. It's a nice fabric. It's a beginner-friendly fabric. Most men's dress shirts are made out of beginner-friendly fabric. I say most because I worked at a costume shop, and I know for a fact that there are tons that aren't, but those ones are fun, crazy, and usually costumey. But generally, men's dress shirts are comfortable cotton poly blends that are comfortable to wear, and they're also comfortable and easy to sew. Again, another reason why this is a super beginner-friendly project. Because see how I'm just kind of throwing this thing around and it's not slipping and it's not sliding. Satins and silks and chiffons and drapey fabrics, they don't like this kind of a treatment. You have to be delicate with them and keep them flat. And, you know, a lot of the reasons why people get afraid of sewing because of all the variables that can make things look a little weird. All right, I have a rectangle. It is pinned all the way around. While it's inside out and flat, before I sew it, I just want to give it a quick press. Just to make sure that I'm all lined up because of that middle placket. I don't want it to be stretched out when I sew. Make sure everything lines up because that's laying funny. This corner's funky. This side is perfectly lined up. I think it's just because there was a fold in the fabric when I cut it out, so I'm pressing it real quick on this side too. I'm not smooshing it, I'm just pressing it so it's flat. Which is kind of smooshing it, but you know. Line. This is where the grain line doesn't necessarily match up with the pattern line, but I don't care. I got this. Okay. Dan Jones Junk says, did you notice the earthquake yesterday? You didn't feel it, but got a notification about it. I did not notice it because I was on the ground. Apparently, people up in the skyrise buildings could feel it wobble for a full few minutes, but most people on the ground just didn't feel it in general. I've lived in California my entire life, and I have lived through many earthquakes, especially being so near the San Andreas Fault. But I've only noticed one in my entire life, and it was just a little like, oh, that's weird. Now there's cracks everywhere. So, is this plugged in? No, it is not. My power cable. My thing. The power cable for my sewing machine's all the way over there, and I'm not going to disentangle it right now because I have a serger right there that's already plugged in and threaded and ready to go. I told you I wasn't going to use a serger because that's all hoity-toity, and you don't even need a serger for this project. You just need a needle and thread. Technically, I have no-sew pressing tape that you could use on these seams, but I'm not opposed to it. I think there is 100% places for it everywhere. but for decorative pillows, I feel like it's gunky. In my own opinion, it just gets gunky. All right, I will. Let me just go get the cord for my sewing machine just so I can show you guys how easy it is on the sewing machine. And not be a liar. Not that you guys wouldn't see. It's a straight line. All right, where is the power cord? I need the power. There it is. My serger was playing a joke on me. It had my sewing machine's power cord underneath it. So if you didn't know better, you'd think you were looking at its power cord, but its power cord's probably over there. Anyways. Power. Red thread. Sitting down to the sewing machine. Before I thread the upper, I have to add some into my bobbin. Hello, Michael Snow. Welcome. I have to watch this because sometimes it gets pulled up funny and then the thread starts to tangle up underneath it. And this sewing machine in particular, a lot of the threading, the bobbin winders, don't put your fingers in the bobbin winder, have thread all tangled up in them and have ruined or broken the mechanisms that go involved. So it can happen if you're not paying attention. But most of the time it just stops when it's supposed to, when it's full. That's why you get lazy and you stop paying attention, because it generally works, but sometimes push it down. Anyways. Okay. Bobbin's threaded. Sewing machine. Whoops. Is threaded. I suggest learning how to thread your sewing machine blindfolded, because most of the time when you're having sewing issues, rethread your machine. Something might have gotten off or wacky, and you don't want to have to, oh no, I have to rethread my machine as a big giant stopper in your project. It should literally just take a few seconds and not slow you down. Okay, so I am going to sew it on the side with the pocket because that's the side that I used as my visual cues for cutting. 1/2 inch seam allowance and just straight lines. I find out where my 1/2 inch seam allowance is. My sewing machine automatically starts at a straight stitch with 2.5 stitches. 2.5 is the size that it says is stitches per inch, but I think that means that it makes about 10 stitches per inch. I'll have to count them, but it's the right for this fabric, thickness, density, whatever. It's easy. The basic settings work. Straight stitch, go. you could do all those fancy, like, turn your corner easy things. I'm not going to do any of them. I'm literally just, I just did a straight line. Now I'm just going to line it up and do the next straight line. This pillow, you don't have to leave an opening or turning inside out. Just have to make sure. Straight side, straight seam, straight edge. Oh, I don't even have to backstitch, it's just a habit. And then my last side. Again, you don't even need to backstitch because we're crossing all of our seams. And sewed a rectangle. And they all are completely enclosed. Boop. So now that we have a rectangle that is completely enclosed around on all of the sides, we go in through the buttonholes and we flip it inside out. Ta-da! And I can unbutton it. 1, 2, 3. And that's how I can put my pillow in. So let's see if our pillow fits. Here's my pillow. Because it's a full inch smaller, remember? So it should be a really tight fit. I'll laugh if it doesn't fit. Choo-choo. Fill it to that corner. The reason that you do it a little bit smaller is so that your pillow's nice and floofy. Corners. And then you do your little buttons to close it. You smush it and you smoosh it and you smoosh it. You have a pillowcase. This guy's pulling a little bit, but it just needs some smooshing. But I don't hate it because you can see that it's a pillow. And here's a pocket. It has a button right here. That's where you put your gift card. Push these corners into the corners. This is why you do it slightly smaller so that the corners get filled out really easily. But you can also add 1/2 inch seam allowance so it's not so tight. But I really like it as a full pillow.
There is a button here I want to poke right through. There you go. Here's our pocket. Pieces. I actually like that it pulls a little bit. But, well, class, it was an easy project today. I want to see you guys do it now. And I think that'll go well with all the Christmas decor going on. And, yeah. Thank you, Michael Snell. Thank you, Knock Top. Now, was that the easiest project ever? You guys saw me do it. Start, beginning, middle, end. Thread my whole sewing machine. Sometimes when you sit down to a project, and I'm like, it should be a 5-minute project, and I fight with a sewing machine for half an hour. Ever happened to anybody? But, yeah. 4 straight lines around the button placket. You line up your pillow. You make sure that you measure all the way around. If there's a pocket, either avoid it or calculate it so that you're not right on the edge of the pocket. That's how my shirts look when I put them on, LOL. Yeah, I know. Like, you could have it fit tighter, but I like it that it's full. Like, when you do designer pillows, you want your pillows full and busting at the seam. Karate chop them. Like, that's how you do a nice full pillow, but on a men's shirt, it does look like you're popping some seams. You can, if you wanted to, you could add, I don't want to. I think I like it the way. You could add some more seam allowance. You just, instead of doing it at 14 inches, you add half an inch all the way around and cut it at 15 inches. So, but I like this, and it's funky. Not to make it Halloween theme, you could put some fur into the bottom, the button area. Exactly. Except for this is like the best Halloween pillow, so I would just use it on a different pillow because this is a skull. There's one more button here. Do it over the top of a fur pillow. Hey, he's speaking at you. Here's Johnny. I don't know. This is a fun pillow. It's an easy pillowcase. It's an easy project. You just need a men's button-up shirt, sew a rectangle the same size as your pillow, match up the dimensions, literally just straight lines, and then you slide it on the pillow. Werewolf. Michael Snell, how do you make a pillows when the stitches are all on the inside? Well, all the stitches are on the inside, and we got in it from our button placards. But there's lots of different ways. You can leave a little bit of an edge and then top stitch it by hand to cover it up, or you can do a little smoosh to cover it, sew it. You can also do, there's like where you overlap it, like a little bit on both sides, so then you can kind of pull them apart to stick it in there. There's a million ways to do decorative pillows and pillowcases, and they are, yeah. I love it, Michael Snell, or a Superman logo underneath. That's a great idea. So when you open up your pillow, that's awesome. I think this is a great project. I think it's a really easy one. I think it's also a easy, manly DIY, because I know sometimes when you're trying to make homemade gifts for people, a lot of boys have a hard time because it's like, what do I make you that's not so girly and frilly? Well, this is not super girly or frilly, but I like it, you know? Just making sure I read all the comments. But yes, fun project idea. I hope you're inspired. If you make this project, I'd like to see. And this was the fastest live stream I've ever done because we're done with the project, and it's only been 45 minutes exactly right now. Anyways, I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed this super easy pillowcase tutorial out of a men's dress shirt. I love it. It's very Santa. Even with the little bit of the pulling at the buttons. I like the pulling at the buttons. You can avoid it by doing it a little bit by adding seam allowance, but I didn't want to. I wanted it to look full and fluffed and stuffed. Because look at this pillow when when it's not in the pillowcase, just real quick. Nothing wrong with it. It's just, it doesn't look super fluffy. And when it's in that, it looks super fluffy. And here is it not on the pillow. All buttoned up. Easy peasy peasy. I wonder what you guys can think of to apply this in other different ways. Thank you again. Welcome. I should be live again next Tuesday, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.